we are going to discuss. Fine. So today we are going to start with a fresh session and introduction to Excel. So what are we looking at that we will first go through? As all of us know that Excel is basically it is a spreadsheet which is used for storing data and is used for calculating, performing calculations on the stored data, writing formulas, and then organizing your data. Okay, basically, calculations is what we are aiming at. Now, calculations for what type of data we can perform on? We can perform calculations on numerical data, that is numbers, statistical data, date type of data. So we are going to study some functions which can be, worked upon date. For example, finding out today's date, finding out only day of the week from the given date, such kind of calculations. Then working on textual data. See, when I'm entering data in Excel sheet, it will not only numbers, it will be different types. So if at all we have string type of data or text type of data, for example, e-name, or for example, let's say department name or student name or customer address. So working on that
So
data.
I have
And
one thing to suggest that can you use Excel to talk about things so that it will be little
yes,
connecting? We can
yes,
share screen, and I think Swati's background is not like me, and uh, that I have some idea, or maybe she may want to get more connected. Like you use the term e-name. So e-name is the employee name, which I did in another class. So if you have any
yes.
questions, Swati, you can ask. But it will be good if you are using the Excel tool and talking on the tool, because it gets very little boring here because we are just listening. Yeah,
I'm not going to follow this document throughout the session. Okay, this is
yeah.
just an introductory document. It's a bird's eye view that I am giving you. What all things we are going to go through.
But
And
yeah, now I'm able to see.
okay,
Yeah, I
fine.
can see it here.
Yeah. So please give me such feedback. It's welcome.
Sure. So, and at the same time, calculations. So you can start again. I mean, because I
Hmm.
think Swati did not. I shared the demo thing with her,
Mhm.
and
I did
she,
go through the demo.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
but she
Okay.
more she wants more on the tool itself as Excel as a tool to. Yeah.
Definitely. So basically, I was just saying that the things that we are going to go through, that was what the intention of going through this document. We basically go for calculations and storing data. That is what Excel is all about. Okay.
Hmm.
So we are going to navigate through Excel sheets, and I was talking about calculations. We calculate data, which is number type, which is date type, which is text type, and also we check some conditions. For example, if at all a student's marks are more than 30, if at all student's marks are less than 30, declare him as fail, otherwise declare him as pass. Okay, so this condition checking can be done using Excel. So it may be any complex condition. I gave you a very basic type of condition right now. Okay, so this facility is available in Excel. Of course, data storage is what is the basic requirement. Then generating reports using Excel. Then filtration of the data. If you have gone through the demo yesterday, we can store a huge amount of data in Excel. And every time we do not want all the data. So we can filter out data and keep only that much of the data which is required. or which is needed based on a specific criteria. For example, if at all I am looking at a data which is dairy products, okay, and there are thousands of records in my table. Out of that, I'm only interested in knowing how much of the milk products or how much of the cheese products were sold in the month of May. Fine. So I can choose the category of that particular product and see that. So the remaining products will be hidden for us. Then finding out summaries, that is totaling, and sorting. Sorting means rearranging the records in ascending or descending fashion. Right now, I will not talk about pivot because we need some explanation for it. So that will be coming up as towards the end of this course. Fine.
I
So
will say, I think you should make us see some sort of filtering, conditional formatting, and sorting
yes, we are going to go through that. But let
today.
us
I
get
mean,
today it won't be possible because let us get acquainted with the basic part first.
no. So when you speak how data is filtered on the tool, I think it's logically, see there is a disconnect here. I tell you, I'm doing other session also with other trainers on some other things. So
Hmm.
they scribble, they draw it, the rows and columns sometimes,
Hmm.
and they have scribbler apps, so it becomes very clear. Right now it is only textual here, but the moment you show that there are five, 1 2 3 4 5, and there is a filter, and if
Hmm.
you filter it or you sort it, this is what is happening. It gets very clear. But theory theory about a tool is very different than a theory about, say, it's not history, it's not political science. It's something which I have to do and understand. But particularly for me, I'm speaking for Excel in the sense. I thought that if Swati could, would you need this, Swati? And if you need it, you can speak it out.
Yeah, I do. I went through the demo session, which she did, and I when she was mentioning about like these are the tabs, right? Insert, and then all of us, and then right after said these are the these are the ribbons. So the cursor was not moving and it wasn't showing the clear that is she's talking about insert, um, yeah, page layout or formula. So is she talking about exactly about that part or the right down uh, where we have you know body type or the numbers, or you have to put in the middle, or you have to uh, um, you paste or copy. That's what written here. It's a format printer. So it was not
Right.
showing there. So the
So
cursor is a little bit moved, or she can just use that these tools
yeah,
and just to circle those that okay, this is a ribbon, this is that, and then even
yeah.
I want to
So
make my notes, so it will be helpful for me.
yeah. So even that's what even I think that the theory is very good. Like I said in my SQL class, Tripti, and it's good to discuss. But and please also speak about your background a little bit, Swati, and how much knowledge you have in SQL, and because uh, I don't think that. What is your knowledge in Excel?
So I don't have much information about Excel, and that's why I want to that's why I wanted to learn from the scratch. So where she can scribble and she can just talk about the tabs. Okay, this is the tab and this is the ribbon, and maybe it's a little bit weird, but maybe that's how she don't talk, or I mean that's how she don't teach her. But for me, the person who's learning the first time about Excel, So I'm not familiar with the Excel that much, the way I am familiar with little bit with Word document, but not the Excel. So it's very new for me, and I do want to learn. If you can scribble, and that's how I can just, make my notes and go back and watch the video. Plus, I can go back to my notes and revise those. So,
So even I feel Tripti a little bit that helps actually when you do on screen. But that is I'm definitely I think I'm much advanced uh, uh, mm, than Swati. But so my request will be that uh, definitely you are a very knowledgeable person. This is for sure, and both in terms of theoretical concepts, I have done DB as well as spreadsheets a little bit, but your concepts are really strong. So if you just do something on screen, because we are sitting really far, this is not classroom training. If you were teaching on whiteboard, I'm sure you must be drawing rows and columns and you'll be talking about something. But here it gets easy if you have that scribble thing. Ajkal, those devices are there which on which you can write and scribble during the sessions. Otherwise, if that is not available, just try to use your own screen. And if you can stop share, even I can show what I'm expecting. I mean, if you give that freedom to me for, yeah, stop share, and then probably I can share if you allow.
uh, right, and do it. Right.
Thank you. So whatever you're saying, you can highlight that so much so that if you're speaking on report generation, you can just select that report generation thing, or just select a highlighter and that highlight it. So if you go from top to bottom on a page, you can highlight. So our concentration is on screen. That is all we see actually. We will see. So sometimes it feels very monotonous. So in fact, if you can stop sharing.
Tripti, I
Uh,
think there is an option in the bottom, the pointer. Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
I've seen. See, this
yeah,
is the
you can select
share.
that. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can select that.
So
And well, yeah,
I can use pen. I can use eraser and I can highlight, or I can just.
yeah, you have a yeah. There is a highlighter on the bottom. You can use that.
and
Just
and even more powerful and the most powerful, what I found with you is that the way you write queries on the SQL editor, the query editor, that is the best thing. So if you have to show a filter, I mean, talking about filtering in Excel for someone, I mean, I know that I met Swati in a retail store. तो उस स्टोर में the place there she worked, she does not use Excel. She must not have any idea. I just said that why don't you try some new tools for your this thing. So she has come for the demo. So if you show
yeah,
the tool,
actually, I think at the Tripti end, she's just explaining the syllabus, the things, and on that she will do practical like in the next maybe like in the next session. So is explaining the things like what is in the basic you can do in Excel. Okay,
no,
and
so that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. When you say you filter, where do you
mhm.
filter? So it will definitely be more useful and more understandable on the tool itself. And Excel is a pretty fast tool. It's very
See,
fast.
right now, what I was doing is I was going through all the points. What are we going to look at? And then, as and when we come across it, I'm going to definitely give you a demo about it. Okay. So
Mhm.
everything, uh, all the demos, if I give you right now, then you won't be able to do it along with me, or you won't be able to remember all of it right now. Okay.
No,
What all
we don't want to
what all
remember. We don't want
facilities
to
are
do
available?
in today's thing. We, I just wanted that. I mean, it's the tool which gets more shown up. I mean, the tool should, which is the Excel sheet,
Yes, I'm
and
going to start with
yeah.
the demos.
Okay.
My intention is to get you first acquainted with the basic topics, and then eventually we'll go towards the advanced topics. Is that fine?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Should we start now? Fine. So, do you want me to tell about the ribbon part and the tabs part?
You can.
Okay, definitely. See, like I have yesterday told that uh, the Word document has pages, okay, but the book, when I'm talking about Excel, it's a workbook. One workbook, it has got multiple
Tripti,
worksheets.
yeah, please kindly open the Excel. I can see your document. Yeah.
I
Oh, I
shared
think.
previously as well.
Oh, oh, I think there was a sharing problem then. Okay. So I think there is an option to share only one of the open screens, be it a Word doc or a Google Chrome window or specific window. So I think you
Uh,
should rather choose to share whole screen.
just let me know which screen right now you're looking at.
City product
Okay.
quality,
Now tell me which screen you're looking at. Is it Explorer that you're looking at?
my courseware.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Fine.
file explorer. Yeah.
As I was telling you that a Word document basically is made up of multiple pages. But if you come to Excel, there is there is no document. There is one workbook. As you can see here, as you can see here, there is a workbook. Okay, and every workbook is not made up of pages. It is made up of sheets. If you see here, there is sheet 1, sheet 2, and sheet 3, right? So like this, you can keep on adding multiple sheets in one worksheet. So ultimately, a workbook is made up of multiple worksheet. Okay, and what does every worksheet has? Every worksheet is made up of rows and columns. So what you see here, these are all columns, and the horizontal, this one, 2, 3, 4 numbers, they are all numbers. That is, they are all rows. Okay, so any Excel worksheet is made up of rows and columns. The rows are made up of numbers. They start with numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and the columns, they are named by alphabets A, B, C, D, like that.
So
Okay,
rows, the row header is a number and the column header is a alphabet.
alphabet, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Intersection of row and column. Can you see here? There is a black cell. Okay,
Yeah.
intersection of row and column is called as a cell.
Mhm.
Fine.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have seen so far that uh, workbook workbook has worksheets, and worksheets sorry worksheets has columns and rows, right? Rows rows has numbers, and columns are referred by alphabet. Okay, so that's how it goes. Now, intersection of row and column is called as a cell. Intersection of row and column is called as a cell. So there are many cells in this particular worksheet. Okay, let us take a blank worksheet first, which does not have any data. Now you can see that there is a grid here all over Excel worksheet. Okay, that what is this grid? These all are individual cells. Now how do I uh, differentiate one cell from another cell? By its name or by its address. Every cell has got a unique address. And how do you name it? Column name followed by row number. Okay. So where do you say it? See, this is the area where you see the cell address. Okay, what is it? This area, it is called as name box. This area basically, can you see the tooltip has appeared? This tooltip means when you take your mouse pointer on that thing, it gives you help. It is called as a tooltip. So if I take my mouse pointer here, this is name box. In this name box, it tells you currently you are on which cell of that Excel sheet. So right now I am in cell C7. Can you see this? C is what? Column number, and 7 is what? Row number. So wherever your cell is, if I'm taking my pointer here, right now it is telling you P6. That means I am in column P, and in column P I am on row 6. Take your cell and you can see where you are, or the other way around is better. That means if you want to jump to a particular cell, you can go to the name box and type that particular address, cell address. Let's say I want to go to K200. That means in K column I want to go to the row 200. So you type here and press enter. Now if you can see this, it has taken you to this particular K200, right? And K200 is the active cell where you are currently working.
So can you help us trace how to trace K200? So is the column is K, so the yellow colored column is K and the yellow colored row is 200, and that
Yes.
intersection is that cell, that black box. Okay, so that is K200. Okay,
Okay.
getting.
Now what is, let's say right now I'm in K81. This black box, this let's say K81, 180. That black box is called as actually active cell. Okay. Can I type here?
Yeah, typing is good. Typing is as good. You can type on Notepad or even
Hmm.
Excel itself. You can type.
Okay. So this right now, can you tell me I'm in which cell?
Swati, you want to tell?
It's in K 180.
Very good.
Yes.
Right now in K180. Now this K180 is actually it is actually called as active cell. Okay. How how is it different from the others? How is it different from the others? That means if you see all of them are gray, disabled, isn't it? But this is the only one which is enabled for editing, and that is why it is bordered brightly. Okay, so this is like a cursor blinking in world. That is, this is the current area where I can start my editing. Okay, active cell is the cell which allows me to enter data. That is it, fine, or where currently I am working. So this is the concept of active cell. So here we can keep on adding the data, whatever data we want to add. So you go ahead and keep on adding data. Now about the navigations that we had talked about yesterday. So the next point that we will be talking about in Excel. Okay. Navigation means when we're talking about huge data. Okay. As you can see, these many rows are there, and then these many columns are there. So after completing A to Z starts A B. So if you see, I'm saying AA1. See, A ABCD up to Z, and after Z starts AA. Okay, then AB AC. After, like after AZ it will start BB BC BD etc. Okay, so like this the columns keep on adding, and the last column for every Excel is XFD. Okay, so these many columns and these many rows are there. So you can enter data in such a way in all the Excel files. Now, if I have to navigate through this entire Excel sheet, navigate means from one cell to another, one record to another record, or from one column to another column, then instead of manually going through a cursor, maybe a mouse or a keyboard, you can use some shortcuts. Okay, and those shortcuts will be, suppose right now I am somewhere at the end and I want to go back to the first column and first row, then I press something called as control plus home, okay, which will take me to the cell A1. That is a shortcut key that I use for going this. Okay. Maybe I have this document for shortcut keys. Let me just share it with you. Is the screen visible to you, Swati?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So first cell, control plus home. Home will take you to the first cell of the row. Control plus up arrow key, down arrow key, left and right. That will take you to the first cell of the column or first last cell of the column. Means what? Let us have a demo of it. Right now I am in C1 and I want to go to the last row of this particular column. So the key that I will be using, the shortcut key is control plus down arrow key. It will take me to the last row, highlighted one, the last row of that particular column, that is column C. Now I want to go to the first row of column C. Why column C?
Why did
Because
you
right
click?
now I am inside column C.
Why?
Okay,
What did you click to go down?
control plus down arrow key.
Oh, control plus down arrow. Down arrow. Okay, yeah, that's here. Control plus
Okay,
down arrow. Okay.
yeah, that's what the document says. Control plus down arrow key, control plus up arrow key, left and right.
Okay, got it.
Fine. So I want to go back to the first row of the same column. Same column means which column? The working column. Okay, that is this column. So control plus up arrow key. It will take me to the first row of that particular column. Fine. Then I am right now, let's say, in B column. Control plus right arrow key will take me to the last column of that row. Now we are talking horizontally. Okay. In a row, it will take me to, right now I'm in which row? Fourth row. Okay. And if I say control plus right arrow, it will take me to the last column of that row. Control plus left arrow will take me to the first column of that row. Is it okay? Control plus home. I may be anywhere in the document. Let's say I am in here on 24th row of this column and I want to go back to the first column and first row. So instead of going my cursor or arrow, I simply use a shortcut control home. Control home will always bring me to the first column and first row. Okay, so these are all the shortcuts that we use. Is it fine? Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Now let us talk about these tabs. Hmm? As you can see, we have some tabs here like home tab, insert tab, page layout, formula. What are these tabs? Every tab has got its own purpose. So right now, suppose I am inside, I am looking at something called as a home tab. Okay, so there this particular home tab, it has got a ribbon. Every tab has got a ribbon, and then this ribbon, it has got some kind of options available on it. For example, there are options related to alignment here. So how you want your text to be aligned? Do you want it to be aligned centrally, up or down or left? How you want it to be aligned? Then there are some formatting style. You want to format your table or you want to format your cells. So that is options related to formatting of the cell. Then you want to sort and filter or you want to fill the data. These are the options. So these options will be related to tab home. Okay. Then suppose you want to write, there is some option called as data. All the data inside your Excel sheet, these options will be present here. So let us explore this data tab, and you will see that you have filtering of the data, you have sorting of the data, you can apply validations on the data, you can consolidate the data. Okay, so whatever data you have inside the Excel sheet, the options that are available on that data are placed inside this data tab. Fine. Let's say I want to go to formula tab. Whatever formulas you can apply on the data, these options are available here. Fine. So like this, there are different ribbons, and in each ribbon, there are groups related to formatting. For example, I want to write, let's say, result, result of term 2. That is what my result of term 2 is, the heading of my table. Okay, and I want to format it. So the option present is in the home tab. What do I do is I select this and then I apply different formatting. For example, I want to increase the size of the text. So I go ahead and let's say I want to put it as 16. So I increase the size, I make it bold, okay, and I want to apply the borders to it. So I go to borders and choose the option thick borders. Okay, so I have chosen this option of thick borders, and then I can change the color. Maybe I'll choose red color. Sorry, I did not select it. Okay, I can also fill it up with some, but then I want it to be, expanded. Right now this entire text is in column E. Okay, I want to combine it with 3 4 more columns. So what I can do is I can select it and drag it to H. I'll repeat, select it and drag it till H. So right now how many columns I have selected? E, F, G and H, all of them. Okay, now after selecting all of them, there is an option in home tab that is called as merge and center. So what it does is basically it will combine all these columns and bring the text to the center of that combination. Fine. So let us see the end effect. So result of term 2. Under this now I can create a table, serial number, then subject, then uh, marks and total. Okay. So I can decide I want to put it automatic. So for these three columns, I have got a combined heading, merge and center. Okay, so the options that I used was merge and center. How you will find out? The moment you click on it, see, this is turned orange. That means it is clicked. If you want to undo this effect, you can click on it again. It's a toggle button. If you click on it, the option is turned on. If you click on it again, the option is turned off. So if I click on it one more time, the merge and center will go. If you click on it, the merge and center will be done. Sorry, I need to choose the data and merge. Okay, so I can decide like this. Maybe I created a table, how I want the table. I want borders to it, and now I can start entering data inside this table. Is it fine? Is this much okay?
Yes.
Okay. So any
Yeah.
doubts? Or
No.
No.
great, great. So this is how I can format. I can do formatting in Excel. So I can decide this different way. I can change the size. See, now the problem while entering the data will be I can enter serial number 1, 2, 3, 4. That is not an issue. What if I want to enter instead of subject? Suppose there was something called as name. Okay, and I want to enter name like okay, and then I enter marks, whatever marks I'm entering. Okay, and total. What do you see here? I cannot completely see. The text is hidden. So what you do is you go to a column. In between two columns, the icon gets changed. It becomes a black plus. Okay. You double click here and it adjusts its length to the size of the text. Or you can manually also change it. You can decrease it. You can increase it manually. Okay, so either you double click or you manually change the size of the column. Similarly, you can do it with the row also. You can change. Let's say I want to increase the size of the column heading. So I can increase it like this. Okay, so this way you can change the size either vertically or horizontally of rows and columns. Fine. Now, suppose I want to apply some formatting to it, that I will do. And I need to change the alignment. So I want to change alignment of all the columns. So I will select all of them, and in the alignment there is center, left, right, etc. All of them right now. Text by default gets aligned center. But because these are column headings, I must put them middle aligned, right? So the option is in. So where is this option? In home tab, see, in home tab, in alignment, you have got this alignment options, fine. So this is what we are looking at for changing the alignment and formatting. So let us have a look at how we can do it. So first of all, I have selected all these column headings and then I have used middle alignment, fine. And then I can obviously increase their sizes, etc., etc. So you can change the alignment types, okay, and then you can keep on entering the data. Now, yesterday I have introduced a little bit about developing a series of numbers. Okay, so the next option that we are going to study, it is called as autofill. The option that we are going to use is autofill. It is used to develop series. Okay, so it is used to develop a series of numbers or series of values. So let us see how we can do it. This option is present In the home tab, you will find that there is an option called as fill. Okay, so fill series is the option wherein you can what all options are there: fill up, fill down, fill ref, fill series, or justify, etc. So we will understand what is this all about. So I want to generate a series of serial number. Instead of manually typing it, I would generate a series. So for that, the prerequisite is you type number first, then you type number next. Next is required to tell you the step over value. That means difference between the two numbers. Okay, so the next number should be with a difference of 1. Fine. So first is starting value and the next one is the value with the difference. So the next value that I'll be entering is 2. After I enter these two, then I select the first value and the second value. Okay. So select both of them together. Once you select both of them together, on the right hand corner, if you come, your icon changes. See, right now this is white plus. If you take the cursor here, it becomes black plus. It is called as fill handle. Okay, this will help you to generate a series when I drag down without leaving the. Okay, so automatically it has generated a series of numbers. So the difference can be anything. For example, if I have to generate a table of 4, I'll say 4 and the next number will be the difference, that is 8. Okay, now select both of them and drag. So what it has done is it has generated a table of 40. Sorry, table of 4. Okay, now this is not needed to be only vertical, this can also be horizontal. For example, I can generate 2, 4 and then instead of dragging vertically, I can drag horizontally, isn't it? So I am generating a number line here, maybe like this, minus 1, minus 1. Fine. So in all directions, I can create a series of numbers like this. Fine. This was about numbers. When you are generating a series, you can also generate a series of uh, date type of values, okay, or days type of values. So maybe I have one more column here. Let us say after name I have one more column here called as payment. So right now, after name I have marks, I want one more column. So what do? I insert a column. So how do I insert a column? You go to that particular column. Can you see that there is an arrow coming here? The moment I take my cursor on the column, the arrow comes. Okay. You right click here and say insert. When you click on insert, a new column gets added on the left hand side of that column. Okay. I'll repeat this. If I click here, the column will get added between marks and total. But if I click here, the column will get added between name and marks. On its left hand side, it gets added. Okay, so insert column. Fine. Similarly, you can insert row also. I can say insert row. Like this, the row will get inserted. Okay, I can delete row by saying delete. Fine. Now suppose this is payment. Okay, so the payment needs to be done in or rather I would say attendance. I have taken this example yesterday. Attendance. Attendance is starting from Monday. The next one is Tuesday, Tuesday, like this. Okay, so it is starting from here. Instead of typing all the days of the week one after the other, I can develop a series of it. How do you do that? After Monday, you type Tuesday and drag it down, right? So it will develop a series of days. Talking about attendance. Generally, we do not work on Saturdays and Sundays, right? So we can skip it. How do you do that? Can you see that there are fill handle options here? So there is a drop down fill options. You can click on this fill options and you can say these options. You can choose one of these options. Fill without formatting, fill days, fill weekdays. So I want to fill only weekdays. That means I don't want weekends. So choose this option. And what do you see here? After Friday, actually I should have selected. Now, let's say I want to fill up the months also. So I have January, February, and then if I drag down, it will develop a series of months also. Fine. So this way I can develop a series of numbers or days or months, etc. Is it okay, everybody?
Yes.
Okay. So I think we should stop here for the day. Is that fine? Or do you want me to continue?
That's fine for me.
Swati?
That's fine with me too.
Okay. So I suppose we will continue on next, mean on coming Saturday, right?
Yes. But I
So
think,
Saturday and Sunday, 8 to 9.
yeah, the same thing, there is a challenge for timing because it's now almost 12, about to be 12 in the night for me. And uh, I need to find out some solution for this. And if I either the if I try to move it earlier, it will be very early for you. So I'll have to have it in your evening. So
Evenings are not possible for me actually. We'll discuss it again. Let's see how we can find out the solution.
yeah,
Uh,
because uh, I mean it gets really late for me, and actually I have a physical illness, bodily illness, and I cannot stay up uh, in the night. I'm really convinced with the program, with the training, and I want to continue the training actually. So uh,
Let's see, we'll find out some solution. I'll talk to Dipti on this.
yes,
yeah,
so
actually,
if
like,
you could,
yeah, Tripti, this is actually Tripti telling me that this is the best time for you, and she told me that it was discussed with Manan like from past 2 3 weeks that this is the time after discussion. So I don't think like once in a week we can change the time like in a separate, but we can't change batch time right now because as she told me that this is a preferred time for the trainer and already discussed with Manan as well. Like it was
you are
discussed with
right.
you, I think.
No, you are right. But I'm myself saying that after having these 2 days of classes, uh, towards the end of the day, later part of the night, it is getting difficult for me. As I'm telling you, I did not realize this, but um, if you want my medical papers, I can tell you I have been advised not to stay up night in the night. But I thought I have been staying up in the night, whole nights and days that way. So that's why kind of Uh, I cannot do it now, but I thought I would be able to do it. So the past 3 4 months, I was strictly following a very restricted medical regime for sleeping and all
Also,
those
I
things.
have work too, so that would be nice if you guys can make it a little early. Because I have to go to work next day, so it's kind of
Did you
very late.
are you convinced with the Excel program, and are you planning to jump in?
Yes, I do. So that's what I'm saying. If they can make it
So,
early,
so
that would be very helpful.
my request would be to T and people from the organizing team. That is that I think we should rethink the time. I myself discussed with you guys, but then that time also was important to somehow start, to somehow begin, because there are different time zones, there are different people, they have different priorities, requirements, and concerns. So at least now we are at a level that we have spoken, we have gone through the demos, and we are at a stage where we are all interested, motivated to learn. And I think now it's the timing thing. A little bit, I would say, not a little bit, in a way that I think it would go from morning, it should go from your morning to your evening on weekends. How do we do that? I will have to work on it, and we will have to work on it. uh, so my request would be to facilitate that. So we can talk on WhatsApp, and we can chat on WhatsApp, and we can fix the timings.